Today, we're going to review the program Marriage Oneness. Now, my wife and I started doing Marriage Oneness as facilitators for quite some time ago. We've facilitated at both mega churches, several, like two or three times at one particular large church in the area, and then also small churches. So we found it a very good program. It's a program by Family Life, and a pastor and his wife uh, do a video series, and it goes through all these different areas of um, problem areas that can happen in marriages. So, for example, they'll talk about um, uh, differences of faith. If your spouses, you have two different faiths, you have financial concerns, disagreements on how to do the finances. They have things like communication problems, um, responsibilities with family and friends, and just a whole bunch of seven different areas. So I was interviewed by Baptist Churches New England about this program. And so my AI personalities are going to review that interview, and then I'll come back on and talk about it some more. So here we go with Alexander and Isabella, and well, they'll take it from here.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Alexander, an AI team member here at 60 Seconds to Enrich LLC.
And I'm Isabella, also from the AI team. Great to be diving into another topic with you all.
So today, our mission really is to unpack how a church can effectively launch its own marriage ministry. We're focusing specifically on the Marriage Oneness program.
Yeah, we've looked at quite a bit of material on this one. The idea is to give you a comprehensive look at the program, what it offers, the upsides, and the practical stuff for actually getting it going in your community.
Right, empowering churches to build stronger relationships. What's really interesting is that the folks who developed this, they'd actually trained in like a dozen other marriage programs over the years.
That's right. And this is the one they landed on for their own ministry. They pointed to 7 key reasons why they felt it was, well, superior for what they needed.
7 reasons. Yeah. That's quite a strong endorsement, especially given their background. So what's the first big why? What really makes it stand out?
Okay, so the first reason, and it's a big one, is just how comprehensive it is. It covers a really wide range of marital struggles. You know, a lot of programs focus heavily, maybe only, on communication.
Which is important, obviously, but... You know.
But it's rarely the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
Marriage Oneness really digs into the spectrum of what couples actually face. The insight being marital health is usually more complex than just one issue.
That makes total sense. Communication's key. But yeah, it's often tangled up with other things. So what specific areas does it cover? Some of the maybe tougher ones?
Well, it definitely covers communication and conflict resolution. But then it dives into money. We all know that can be a big one.
Oh, yeah.
There was this story in the sources about a couple who, as like an out-of-class thing, they actually created their very first joint budget together during the program.
Wow, really applying it directly.
Exactly, making it practical, not just theory.
Yeah.
And then there's spiritual beliefs. This comes up a lot, right? Couples from different backgrounds, maybe one grew up Baptist, the other Catholic, that kind of thing. The program helps them navigate that, find common ground, build spiritual oneness. And then sexual intimacy. That's handled pretty uniquely because it's so sensitive.
Unique how? That sounds like it could get awkward in a group setting.
It could, absolutely, which is why they structure it carefully. So everyone watches the main video session together, but then for the discussion groups afterwards, they split up by gender. Men go with a male facilitator, women with a female co-facilitator, often the facilitator's wife. It just creates a much more, open and comfortable space for people to talk honestly about personal stuff.
That sounds really thoughtful. Ensures people feel safer, engaging. What about like the day-to-day stuff? Roles and responsibilities?
Yep, that's another key session. And it's actually quite flexible. Sometimes church leaders like the pastor and his wife might be invited to speak after the video.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe address the whole group, then split off, men with the pastor, women with his wife. Or sometimes the main facilitator team just handles the gender-separated discussions themselves. This separation, it isn't strictly required by the program itself, but sources say it's really helpful, especially for sensitive topics like, say, submission, where comfort levels can differ a lot.
Right. Makes sense. And beyond the couple themselves, what about outside influences like family, friends?
Yeah, that's covered too. Dealing with in-laws, another classic stressor,
Okay.
definitely. And even things like navigating friendships with the opposite sex after you're married. These are all, common real-world things that can cause friction. So covering them is pretty important for being comprehensive.
So it really does try to cover all the major bases, the pressure points couples hit. Okay, comprehensive content, check. What makes it easy for churches to actually do this?
That's the second reason. It's designed as a plug-and-play program. What that means is you don't need to find some highly trained professional counselor to lead it.
Okay. So more accessible.
Yeah. Basically, anyone with a real heart for marriages, a desire to help, they can facilitate it. This insight, it sort of democratizes marriage ministry, makes it doable, even for churches maybe, without huge resources.
That sounds great. Very accessible. But hang on. If anyone can lead it, how do you ensure quality? Especially with those sensitive topics. Is there a risk of someone giving bad advice by accident?
That's a really fair point. And that's where the plug-and-play design is actually pretty smart. The facilitator's role isn't really to be the expert or provide counseling.
Okay.
Their main job is greeting people, playing the professionally made DVDs, and this is key, managing the discussion time. They're kind of a gatekeeper.
A gatekeeper, how so?
Making sure everyone gets a chance to share, preventing one person from dominating the conversation, and setting ground rules early on, especially about confidentiality. The content comes from the expert-led DVDs. The facilitator guides the process.
Got it. That distinction, education versus counseling, facilitator as guide, that's really important for setting expectations. Okay, what's number 3?
Third reason, it's gospel-centered, unapologetically faith-based. It weaves in the gospel message pre-naturally. And at the end of sessions, they actually encourage people, if they feel comfortable, to talk to the facilitators afterwards if they want to know more. Plus, it's taught by an active pastor and his wife, not former ones, which adds, credibility.
So it feels current and grounded.
Exactly. And scripture is integrated throughout, supporting the principles. It's not just tacked on.
So it offers a spiritual framework, not just practical tips. And I guess that faith foundation could make it a good outreach tool, too.
Totally. Because it's accessible. And strengthening marriage has universal appeal, right? It can attract people from outside the church, even maybe non-believers. It offers a kind of non-threatening way for them to engage with faith in a supportive setting.
That's powerful. Okay, shifting gears slightly. What's the actual experience like for participants? Is it, engaging? Or does it feel like homework?
Good question. That leads to point 4. High entertainment value. Look, lots of educational stuff can be dry.
Understatement.
Right. But the marriage oneness videos are designed to be genuinely enjoyable. They use humor, relatable situations.
So it's not just fun for fun's sake.
No, it's strategic. It helps hold people's attention, which means they actually retain the material better. If you watch that 9-minute clip that's available, you get a sense of it right away. They have this just married versus just married concept. It's clever, memorable.
Engagement definitely helps things stick, especially over time. Speaking of personalization, what about assessing their own relationship? Is there anything unique there?
Yes. Number 5, the personalized online marriage oneness profile. This is pretty cool. It's an assessment tool each spouse fills out privately online. It generates a snapshot of their marriage, where the strengths are, where the weaknesses or growth areas might be. But the key thing is it's purely for their insight.
So the facilitators don't see these. Reinforces that education, not counseling idea again.
Exactly right. Facilitators are specifically told not to review the profiles. It's all about empowering the couple with self-awareness and tools for their journey. Keeps the focus on them, not on being judged.
Makes sense. Okay, another practical thing. Church size. Does this work for a tiny church just as well as a big one?
Very adaptable, which is reason number 6. It works well for groups as small as maybe 10 people up to around 48.
48? Yeah. That's a decent size.
Yeah. And if you have more, you just add more small discussion groups, each with its own facilitator team. The sources mentioned a core team handling 48 couples by splitting them effectively. So that flexibility is a huge plus for different church contexts.
It definitely broadens its appeal. Okay, number 7. A lot of marriage things are like weekend retreats. This is longer, right? Does the length matter?
It does. That's the final key reason. It's an 8-week program, usually about 1.5 to 2 hours a week.
8 weeks? That's a commitment.
It is. And some might hesitate. But the research tends to show that these longer, more sustained programs, they lead to better retention of the material and ultimately a greater, more lasting benefit for the couples. It gives the ideas time to sink in, time for real life application, time to actually build new habits.
Right, not just a quick hit. Allows for deeper change. Okay, it definitely sounds like a well-designed program. But compelling reasons are one thing. What evidence do we have that it actually works? How do we know it helps couples?
Crucial question. And there's pretty solid evidence. First off, anonymous evaluations, they usually do these around week 5. And the feedback is consistently overwhelmingly positive. Most couples report real, tangible improvements in their relationship.
Okay, anonymous feedback is pretty strong. What about how couples engage with it? Do they stick with it?
Oh, absolutely. You see couples actively borrowing DVDs of sessions they miss. That shows they value the content, right?
Definitely.
Many even buy some or all of the DVDs themselves to review later. We heard anecdotes of couples buying the whole set to go through it again at home, or even following the facilitators to another church just to take the program again.
Wow, taking it multiple times. That really says something about how much they value it. Why do you think people would do that?
I think it's probably a mix of things. The content itself, comprehensive, faith-based, really resonates. The engaging style helps. And the tools are practical. Couples see real change and they want to reinforce it. It's not just a one and done fix. It's about building lasting patterns. And sometimes life changes and you need to hear those truths again.
Makes sense. Are there like visible changes, things you can actually see?
For sure. There are some powerful stories about shifts in body language. Couples starting out sitting, far apart, maybe looking tense, even having little squabbles during the sessions.
Yeah.
And by the end, totally different, sitting super close, leaning into each other, even if they don't always put it into words. That physical shift, it speaks volumes about reconnection, maybe reconciliation.
That's a really nice image. Renewed connection. Do people ever just say, this helped? Personal testimonies.
It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's usually very moving. People sharing how much it meant, how it might have saved their marriage or deepened their faith journey. But like I said, those anonymous evaluations are key because they capture that broader positive impact that maybe isn't always shared publicly.
Okay, so clearly beneficial for many, but important to know limitations too. Are there couples or situations where this program is not the right fit?
Yes, absolutely. And this is critical. 2 specific groups where marriage oneness is not recommended. First, couples experiencing domestic violence.
Right.
Trying to do this program could actually make things worse, potentially put someone at risk. It's just not equipped for those complex, dangerous situations. Safety has to come first.
Absolutely critical point. What's the second group?
Premarital couples. Specifically because of the session on sexual intimacy. The content just isn't appropriate for couples who aren't married yet. It's really designed for married couples looking to strengthen their existing bond.
Understood. Good clarity there. So for a church that's thinking, okay, this sounds promising, how do they get started? What are the options?
Right. How to dip your toe in or dive right in? A few ways. First, just watch a program clip. We mentioned that 9-minute one earlier. Gives a great taste of the style, the content, that oneness theme. Good low commitment way to just see if it clicks with your church's vibe.
Okay, get a feel for it first. What if they're leaning towards it, want to know more?
Then the next step might be the leadership kit. This is great if you want to explore it more deeply before launching a full group. It has all 4 DVDs, 2 sessions per DVD, so all the video content, plus 1 set of workbooks, a facilitator instructions DVD, and a facilitator instruction booklet. So all the guidance stuff.
And does that include the online profile thing?
Yep. It comes with 1 marriage oneness profile code. So maybe the lead couple can fill it out, experience that part firsthand, see the questions, the feedback. And the sources also mentioned that this kit can come with extra facilitator notes.
Supplementary notes. What's in those? Sounds useful.
Oh, super useful. Really practical stuff like a detailed schedule, attendance sheets, icebreaker ideas to get couples comfortable.
Icebreakers are always good.
Totally. Especially if people are new or maybe arrive late. There are even review games like a Jeopardy format to recap past sessions, networking activities too to help people connect based on jobs or life stage, and of course evaluation sheets to get feedback. It's really designed to be a complete toolkit to launch effectively.
That does sound very thorough.
Okay.
What if a church is ready to go, maybe wants to start with, say, half a dozen couples? Is there a bundle for that?
Yes, the starter pack. That's generally the most cost-effective way for up to 6 couples. It has everything. The leadership kit has all the DVDs, facilitator guides, but it adds workbooks and profiles for 6 couples, 6 confidential profiles with the website codes.
Gotcha. And if they just have like 2 couples to start or want to add more later, can they buy materials individually?
Definitely. You can get the leadership kit and then just buy additional workbook profile sets as needed. There's a per set cost plus shipping. Ordering more at once usually saves a bit on the shipping, which helps as the ministry grows.
Okay, that makes sense. So we know why it's good, how to get it. Let's talk about actually running it. Like someone misses a week, can they jump back in? Or do you have to start at week 1?
Good practical question. There's flexibility. People can join midstream because each session mostly covers a different topic, right? Money one week, family the next.
Okay.
However, session 1 is pretty important. It lays out that whole oneness concept that runs through everything. So while joining late is possible, it's really best if they can somehow catch up on session 1, maybe watch the DVD to get that core idea.
Right, the foundation. What about other practical hurdles, like childcare? That stops a lot of couples from doing evening things.
Huge point. Setting up childcare is, well, basically essential for success. The sources were clear. Pretty much every successful run of this program they knew about included organized childcare.
Removes a major barrier.
Exactly. Lets couples actually show up consistently and focus without worrying about the kids.
And you mentioned outreach before. How does that work in practice? Getting people from outside the church involved.
Yeah, it works really well as outreach because it's approachable, right? Churches have used social media to promote it. Word of mouth is big too. There are real stories of people joining the church because they came to Marriage Oneness first. Maybe they heard about it, walked in, got directed to the session. It's a great bridge to the community.
That's fantastic, a real community builder. Going back to the facilitators being gatekeepers, how do they keep discussions safe, especially with that intimacy session?
It comes down to clear boundaries. Facilitators guide, they don't advise or counsel, they ensure everyone gets heard, no one dominates, and confidentiality is paramount. Especially after those gender-separated talks on intimacy, they explicitly tell people not to share specifics from those groups, even with their own spouse. That builds incredible trust and safety.
That's vital for vulnerability. Okay, so the 8 weeks are done. What happens next? Any ideas for keeping the connection going?
Yeah, follow-up is really important. The program's a catalyst, not the finish line. Ideas include things like maybe a special Valentine's event with dessert, maybe professional photos, fun games like a not-so-newlywed night.
That could be dangerous.
Could be. Or just simple stuff like presenting completion certificates, maybe having a barbecue for everyone who went through it, build community, and doing follow-up surveys, maybe a month later, 6 months later, is really smart too. See the long-term impact, figure out ongoing needs.
This deep dive has certainly shed a lot of light on marriage oneness, the comprehensive nature, the unique structure, the practical side. It really seems like a valuable, adaptable tool for churches wanting to build a strong marriage ministry. It empowers both the leaders and the couples themselves.
It really does. And maybe a final thought for you to consider. Think about how this program, focusing on that deep idea of oneness, could do more than just help marriages inside your church. Think how it could be a bridge, a way to connect with and minister to people outside your walls too. Fostering deeper, stronger relationships that kind of ripple outwards, building a more connected community overall.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the Marriage Oneness program. We hope you feel better equipped and maybe inspired to see how it could benefit your community. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
So if you're interested in getting a leadership kit, email me marriagemissionary@gmail.com. And the cost is about $79.95. It varies sometimes, and that includes shipping. They're not easy to come by, so contact me regarding getting it. And then regarding the starter pack, I could probably gather up a set of books and things of that nature. So just give me enough time to do that. I probably have about 14 or 15 leadership kits. So I got probably enough leadership kits. The books, I believe you'll be able to, if I don't have a set available, you probably get them online. The books are not absolutely necessary. It's nice for a person to have something to write notes in, so it's a fill in the blank type thing, so they don't have to take full notes. But if that's not necessary, they can just take their regular notes. So again, if you need any more information, contact me at marriagemissionary@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time.